Hi, my name is Noah Woodward and welcome back to my channel. So, before I start this video, I just want to say thank you so much for clicking. I hope you enjoy, but also I have the biggest announcement I think I have ever made coming out on my channel next Saturday, October 3rd. No specific time yet, so please subscribe, turn on those post notifications so that you can get updated, as well as follow me on my Instagram at noah.woodward so that you can be reminded and updated and all of the things. My nose is itchy, okay. So, cute little backdrop coming out right here. Ugly couch, as always. If you are wondering what this is, it is my paddle that I just got from my little with my music fraternity that I am involved in, and it's the Ariana mask, Dangerous Woman mask. I love it so much. So if you are wondering what in the heck that is, that's what that is. So if you are new to my channel, I do these pretty often with some of my favorite artists. I have done a discography review for Ariana Grande and Lady Gaga where I go through every single era that they have done from beginning to now, and I just talk about them a little bit. I show you my track listing for the albums, as well as tell you all my albums ranked at the end of the video. So I'm very excited for Katy Perry because I love her so much. I have been following her ever since I was a little 8-year-old, and it is crazy just to see that I'm 20 years old and still listening to her and loving her music. So it just makes me so happy. So starting off, we are just gonna go era by era from One of the Boys until Smile now, and we're just going to talk a little bit, chat a little bit. I would love to hear any feedback that you have or any comments or your opinions down in the comments below. But a big disclaimer is that everything I say is my opinion, and this is my channel, and I'm allowed to have this opinion, and it's not the correct answer. You can have your own, but some of these things may shock you a little bit. So getting started, I did some research because I was wondering what is Katy Perry all about back in the day when she was Catherine Hudson, things like that. So I saw that she released a Christian influenced EP as her debut as Catherine, but obviously it's not what we know as her debut today, so I'm not going to be talking about it. I haven't listened to it. I'm not going to listen to it, but I just wanted to put that out there. I'm just going to be glancing over that. So in her actual debut, we have her first album from 2008, One of the Boys. Now this album is super rock influenced, rock heavy. It has its, influences of pop like all of her albums do, but it's really cool that she played a little bit into that rock subgenre, which I appreciate so much. However, this is not my favorite album that she has ever done, and I really, really do love the singles, but the other tracks just aren't really my kind of music, and I do not listen to them that often. So as I go through, here's my track listing from my favorite to least favorite of this album. I know for a fact that all of the singles are going to be at the top because they are what I gravitate towards, because they do have that more pop sound. Thinking of You is an incredible, beautiful song, very underappreciated by the way. The music video is awesome as well, and I really enjoy Waking Up in Vegas Hot and Cold. Of course, her debut single, I Kissed a Girl, which really put her name on the map, but I do feel like Hot and Cold put her name on the map a little more than I Kissed a Girl, and then from there she just kept going up and up. So there, like I said, there isn't much that I can talk about with this album. However, she did do her first tour. It was 10 months long, and it was called the Hello Katy Tour, where she did tour this album, and especially these singles that were put out as well. So I think that's all I need to say about this one, because like I said, I don't listen to it that often, so don't come for me in the comments, but it is a great body of work, and it's a very strong debut, but also it kind of put her in the rock genre a little bit. So I guess when she released her next album, people were a little bit surprised, but it was her most successful to date, so I think it was a good thing, right? So we're just gonna move right along. So the next album is a little up in the air. This is Teenage Dream, the iconic cultural reset Teenage Dream. Teenage Dream came out in 2010. I was 10 years old at the time, and our first single that we got from it was California Girls. I wouldn't put California Girls at the top of my list because I feel like there are just so many other songs that are either underrated or even the singles that are better. This album is insane. The fact that there are 15-ish tracks on this album, and half of them are singles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them are singles is insane to me. Now, Katy Perry released Teenage Dream, and she was like, well, I'm not done yet. I want to keep getting bigger and bigger, so she did. So in 2012, she released a reissue of Teenage Dream called Teenage Dream: The Complete Confection. So anything that I talk about relating to Teenage Dream is going to be on the Complete Confection side of it, not Teenage Dream the original. I listen to the Complete Confection more because it has Wide Awake, it has Dressin' Up, I think, it has Part of Me, which was a big song in her career, but all of them are as well. So this tour came with the California Dreams tour, which was 11 months long, and that happened in between the reissue. So she released in 2010, she did her tour, and then she was like, I'm gonna add more, and then she reissued the album as The Complete Confection. So looking at The Complete Confection, we got the Part of Me World Tour movie, which was incredible. One of my favorite parts from that movie, or concert, whatever, is her performing Hot and Cold, because the amount of quick changes she did was incredible. I loved that so much, and as like a 11, 12-year-old that I was in theater seeing it in 3D, by the way, I just thought it was the coolest thing ever, and it definitely, I think I have it on DVD somewhere. It is so cool, and I love it. This was the perfect thing for her to do, because almost every single song in this album was a hit, like a #1 hit, so people knew the songs and people loved the songs. They were all on the radio, so this was definitely like the perfect move for this era. I love the cover art. I love the vision behind this album. The California Dreams tour was super like Candyland themed, I guess, but it had some like sub themes that were really cool as well. So Wide Awake is definitely at the top of my list. A lot of people get annoyed by like the I'm wide awake, you know, but I just love it. The chorus, the hook is so catchy, and it's been my favorite song for a long time on this album. On this album ranking, I did not include, there's some features, like there's E.T. feature, there's a remix with Missy Elliott of Last Friday Night, there's the one that got away, like acoustic piano something, and then there's like a mega mix mashup. I didn't include those because I don't listen to them, so this is just like the raw list of the songs. So something that I find pretty controversial in my ranking that I think is gonna like make people be like, what in the world, is I put Last Friday Night pretty low. Out of all the singles, I think that was my least favorite. However, the music video is so fun, and it is so just like, it makes you feel good. So I just have to put that out there, I guess. But like I said, Wide Awake, Teenage Dream, The One That Got Away are some of my favorite songs that she's ever put out. And then the rest of my rankings are as follows. Who Am I Living For? So underrated. Not like the movie, so underrated. Circle the Drain, incredible. But I do love this album so much, and it is so fun to listen to. However, some of the songs do get kind of annoying because they're so overplayed, like California Girls, like Firework. I would still listen to them, but I would never like gravitate and put them on. But that can't retract from the fact that this album is a masterpiece, and it really shaped the way of pop for the 2010 decade. So I think we can move on from there. So after she did her reissue in 2012, she was still going crazy, and she released her third studio album in 2013 called Prism. Now, this album was a time for me. All of the singles were very good, and I listened to them. I mean, I wouldn't say they're very good, but they're like good enough, you know? Roar took the world by storm. I personally do not think Roar is the greatest song ever, but it is very empowering, which I love empowering music. But it's one of those ones that just got way overplayed and kind of annoying towards the end of its run. So it is a little lower on my list, but there are so many hidden gems in this album that I had to include. I'm pretty sure my album ranking does not include the deluxe version. I know there's a song called like Spiritual and some others that I really can't think of right now, but this is just the standard edition of the album. Some of my favorite songs are the ones that weren't singles. However, Katy Perry's best song of all time is on this album, and you cannot fight me against it. It is Unconditionally. Usually when I say it, I'm like unconditionally, because that's what she says. I don't know if anyone else does that, like if I'm like, oh, Katy Perry song Unconditionally, because it's like unconditionally. But besides that, that's not the point. Walking on Air and Legendary Lovers are incredible. I couldn't think of which one to put higher than the other. I really wanted to put them side by side as number 2, but I had to compromise, and so I did that. Dark Horse just speaks to me. I love that sound of whatever it is, and I love that song so much. By the Grace of God is beautiful, and I think this album ranking, especially this one, really is accurate to how I feel. Some of them are a little more difficult, but this one really shows like, oh yes, this makes so much sense to me. However, this album had five singles. Bad Move, This Is How We Do is a good song. I enjoy listening to it now. I didn't before. Oh, I guess I forgot to preface too. If you watched my Lady Gaga video, you saw that I kind of slept on Art Pop, and I figured out the reason why, because I slept on Prism. Both came out in 2013. Well, yes, as well as Yours Truly by Ariana Grande came out in 2013. and Ariana, as you know, is duh. But I think I was just too in the Ariana like track that I could not listen to anything else, and that's why I slept on Prism. I recently got into Prism, like the underrated songs on Prism that aren't singles, during quarantine a few months ago, and I'm so happy that I did because it is an incredible album and I had no clue, so I really slept on it and I'm mad at myself for that. The Prismatic World Tour lasted 17 months, her longest touring album, which is crazy because Teenage Dream was so much more successful, but she also did so much more with it. She had more singles, she had more music videos, she had more radio play, and she had the movie and everything. So I understand why it didn't run as long, but I was really shocked to see when I was researching that the Prismatic World Tour ran longer. Also, it came with a DVD. Katy Perry was not done yet. Katy Perry released the Prismatic World Tour on DVD. It didn't come out in theaters, I don't think, like part of me did, but that was a thing. And I think I've watched it before. I've seen most of her tours, at least like snippets of them. So in 2015, she released Rise. Whew, let me just say this song. So Rise is kind of, I think of it as Roar's more chill, empowering sister. Not just because the names are similar, but the messages behind them. This song, I believe, was some kind of Olympic theme song for the Olympics or something, the Summer Olympics. Regardless, it is an incredible song and it is very underrated. I don't think she performed it on any tours or anything except for when she did her Smile show. She just did like a Smile live show or something and she performed Rise. Let me just say I was in shock because it was incredible. I love that song. I slept on that song. I forgot about that song. I've been listening to it recently and I love it. I love Rise so much. And then she took a little break. At this time she was doing American Idol and things like that, so there wasn't much, but she also cut her hair, which was a big thing. I read an article saying that Katy Perry flopped because she cut her hair. First of all, her real hair wasn't really a thing in any other era except for one of the boys. Her like dark, nice hair. I guess Prism, yes, a little bit, but she did wear wigs from time to time. And Teenage Dream was full of like that Katy Perry persona of like blue wigs and yellow wigs and pink wigs and green wigs and all the wigs. Okay, you guys might be mad at me when I start talking about Witness, but Witness came out in 2017. She did her Witness Worldwide live YouTube live stream thing where she was live streamed in a house like going nuts for hours and days. I don't really understand what that meant at all, but okay. And then she did the Witness World Tour, which so sad I couldn't go to. I don't know why I didn't go. I was still in high school, but it was an 11-month tour, so pretty good, especially for an album that flopped. I think it's no secret that this album performed terribly and was perceived awfully by the general public, and I think this kind of like ruined her career. Not to me, because I am a fan and I have my own opinions that are opposite, but general public speaking, the singles that she released for Witness were terrible for singles, and my opinion, I think it really made people forget about her and honestly very strongly dislike her. I don't know. I really don't know because I am so on the opposite side of all of that. This is just like things that I see in the media. Save as Draft, Miss You More, Power. Like, I don't think we're dumb here. Like, I think any person with a brain would know that these songs are good. So here's my ranking of Witness. I really, really love the slower stuff like Save as Draft, Miss You More. However, I'm not the biggest fan of Into Me You See. I honestly don't listen to that one as much. Like I said, the singles were not the best. Chained to the Rhythm had a really cool music video and it was a good single. But after that, she released Bon Appetit and Swish Swish with Nicki Minaj, which is iconic, but the whole vibe of the song is just kind of odd. And this was during the time, I don't want to get too far into it, but the time of like the Taylor Swift whatever that was. So I don't listen to them. I don't listen to Bon Appetit that much. If it comes on, okay, maybe, but I just don't see the greatness in those songs. But I appreciate every other song so much on this album, and I really love them. Like, I can say that I strongly like, almost love every single song. Sadly, the Witness era ended, fine, whatever, moving on. And then she kind of fell into a depression. I'm not going to talk too much on it because I don't know the circumstances, but I know that she was not happy and she was really trying to use music to like free herself. And she did, but it took a very long time, and I'm proud of her for what she did. She, you know, she just had a baby, but we'll get more into that later. 2017 was a hard year for her because the album did not perform well, and 2018 she was completely out of the music world. However, in 2019 she released Never Really Over, and great song. The music video showing her going to like some kind of retreat type of thing. It seems like it's based on a true experience. I don't know, but yes, very cool. And then she released Small Talk, and we were kind of like, okay, this is like the sound, very pop, but like new pop, because you have to fit the year. You can't be making California girls music in 2020. It just wouldn't do well, even though I would love it, you know? And then she also released Harley's in Hawaii in 2019 as well. And we were assuming like, where's the album, sis? We don't know. And then there was a little bit of a break. At the beginning of 2020, she released Never Worn White, which is her pregnancy announcement music video, and she looked beautiful. That music video is so perfect, and the song is so perfect for a pregnancy announcement. Amazing. But we were still very confused about like, what's the album, where's the album? And then in the summer, well, like, yeah, summer-ish, she released her first single from her album Smile, which was Daisies. And we were like, how is this the first single? Where are the other songs? So she considers Daisies the first single of Smile, but Never Really Over and Harley's in Hawaii are on the album, and Small Talk and Never Worn White are on the deluxe. So I don't classify Daisies as the first single. I classify Never Really Over as, and then Harley's in Hawaii, and then Daisies, and then Smile, and I think the single, and then she released What Makes a Woman before the album came out. I don't know. And then I think the single right now is Cry About It Later. I could be wrong. I have no clue. It's hard because it's quarantine time, so there's not much being able to like get done. I predicted that her baby was going to be named Daisy after that song came out, and I watched one of her Smile Sundays, which was a live stream she did every Sunday leading up to the album, because her album was supposed to come out on my birthday, August 14th, and then it got pushed. But I also think it got pushed because of the baby. She said production issues. Okay, maybe, but she had the baby like the night before. Just saying. I reacted to Smile. If you would like to see my full reaction, it is somewhere, so you can find it. Here is, well, wait, before we get into it. So Smile came out, Daisies came out, and then she released like the album info and the track, like the cover art. And we were like, okay, personally to me, I don't like the cover art that much. I saw so many other fan arts that were immaculate, and I wish those were used instead. I heard Smile was doing worse than Witness. I don't know, but I know that both Witness and Smile are not performing up to the rest of her work, but that's okay. I think she's in the state now where she should be making music for herself and for the people that care about her, not what is gonna hit #1 and chart on the radio. So, here's my track listing for Smile. I wanted to wait to make this video to really let the album soak in, because when I rank the albums at the end, I moved Smile around so much. Sometimes it was at the top, sometimes it was at the bottom and in the middle, and I think today, like right now, at the end of September, I've experienced the album enough to confidently put it where I want it, but Not the End of the World is an incredible song. I think it has very much Dark Horse Prism vibes, Witness Prism vibes. It should be a single, especially right now, because the world is so difficult, and that would be such an amazing message. Daisies is a beautiful song. A lot of people really put it at the bottom of their list. I don't. But my list might be a little controversial. I did not like Only Love when I reacted to it, but now it is at the top of my list. One of my favorites. I love the singles. Tucked is a favorite of mine, but compared to everything else, I had to put it like midway. I couldn't put it at the top. So this next part of the video, I will be going into the awards. So I have some like categories here: Best Fashion Era, Best Album Artwork, Best Music Video Era, Best Tour, and we're gonna go through. Some of these are gonna be a little obvious and redundant, but Katy Perry is a great artist as well as a great human, so it's kind of expected that a certain album or era would win multiple things for me, but like I said, these are my opinions, so yes, let's just get right into it. So the Best Fashion Era, I thought about this for a long time, and I had so many opinions, and I can go through and say like what I love so much about each era, which I probably will do, but Smile. I gave it to Smile. Some of her looks, other than the clown cover art thing, the looks, especially, I count Never Really Over as part of Smile, and I count how she looked before she transitioned into the clown in the Smile music video. I count that, you know. Daisy's beautiful. Never Worn White, beautiful. Best album artwork, definitely not Smile, we know. But I picked Teenage Dream, the normal one, not the Complete Confection. That's kind of just basic and like, you know, not really thought out, but the Cotton Candy Cloud, where she's laying on the cotton candy cloud. I almost said One of the Boys because there is a lot of detail and I wish she would make more album covers like that, but she's more at like a simplicity sake and I enjoy that, whatever. I really enjoy Teenage Dream, Cotton Candy Cloud vibes. Best music videos. I think this is obvious. I'm also going to give it to Teenage Dream. We had Candyland in California, girls. We had that party, that fun party with, oh, what was her name? Kathy Beth? Terry something. Her like nerdy type of character in Last Friday Night. Part of me was like army themed, I think, military themed. Great message. Wide Awake was very like mystical and like fairy tale themed, which I thought was very cool as well. Best tour. Now there's one instance that I would have to say this is my best tour. I'm gonna go off of outfits in the tour as well as the tour itself, the set list and the vibe, and I would have to say the California Dreams tour. It just had that Candyland energy. She came up with the like peppermint bra that spun around, and she did all of those quick changes in Hot and Cold, which was crazy. And then she had the whipped cream bra at, or maybe not the bra, the whipped cream guns during California Girls. The best singles, I want to say Prism, but I have to say Teenage Dream because again, they are timeless. They will never get old. The most underrated album and the most cohesive album are the same. Like it's the same winner, so I just combined the category. So most cohesive and most underrated kind of gives it away with that part, but Witness. I love this album. I love all of the songs that weren't singles, and I think the sound of the album is so cohesive, more cohesive than all of her other albums. One of the Boys, yes, it was very rock influenced, but there was some like poppy stuff in there that you can't call it cohesive because of that. I understand there's subgenres, but because it's my opinion and things like that, I'm gonna say Witness. Teenage Dream, it just was radio hit after radio hit after radio hit, a sprinkle of a ballad after radio hit after radio hit, so they weren't cohesive at all. E.T. was very galaxy, space, cosmic, and then California Girls was very bubblegum, pop, candy, floating in your face, whipped cream shooting in your eyes, so like, there's no cohesion there at all. And Teenage Dream is such like the song, Teenage Dream the song, is so timeless and nostalgic of like the 2010s, but it doesn't fit with like anything else. So no. The album that I frequent the most, so I put this in here because I just wanted to give something else the light of day. So I put Prism. Reason number one is because I slept on the album for so long and because quarantine is like happening. This is the album I've been listening to. It's just so fun and I love every song on there pretty much. So I picked Prism, and the singles are good, but I wouldn't call them like immaculate, but either way, I love that album and I will listen to every single song without skipping. And I think some of the best songwriting other than, actually no, I would probably, I can give best songwriting to Prism as well. Teenage Dream was all simple pop, typical, you expect what's gonna happen. Witness was a little darker, more intense pop with like some weird production vibes on it, but in a good way. But the writing on that one, I guess, wasn't as strong. Okay, so that is pretty much it. I think now is the time that I have to rank the albums as a whole. So like I said, Katy Perry does not have any bad albums. Yes, there are some bad songs, and yes, there are some bad, you know, moments, but as an artist and as someone who releases albums, she is doing it like greatly. You know, she's fine. She's doing well. So if I had to rank the albums from most best to least best, I would say my number one album is Witness. Now, before you come for me and say, whoa, first of all, where's any other album except for Witness? I put Witness at the top because I relate it to a lot of memories in my life, happy memories and sad ones. So like, it just really comes together for me, and I love it so much. I could go do a whole video on why I love Witness, but I'm not gonna bore you. So yes, I have to say Witness is number one. Please don't come for me. Your rankings are gonna be so much different, but if anyone loves Witness as much as I do, let's be friends. Number two, this was a big switch up, and I feel so bad, but I would say Prism, because it's so fresh in my head, and all of the songs that aren't singles and Unconditionally are incredible. Dark Horse, I mean, all the singles are incredible too, but I'm gravitating so much towards Walking on Air, Legendary Lovers, By the Grace of God, This Moment, Love Me. My number three, middle of the album, is Teenage Dream. This was gonna be number one, and then it was number two, and now it's number three. It also was, no, it wasn't gonna be four. It was gonna be one or two, but now it's three, because I really base albums off cohesion and how they speak to me and how I can relate to them. And this one is just not that for me. I love all of the songs, but it's very middle tier. Although it was her most successful album, so in terms of success and popularity, it would be right at number one. I didn't want to base it off that because my opinions are mine and that's how I feel. Number four, this was so hard for me to do, Smile. Now, a few days ago I would have said Smile was at 2, and then I put it at 3, but then I really realized that I couldn't move Witness from number 1 for me, so it had to go at 4. I switched Prism and Teenage Dream like no other, but Smile is number 4, and it's just, the songwriting isn't the best on it, even though it is her most like raw personal album, I guess. It's just not my favorite thing that she's ever released, but I do love it a lot, and I've been listening to it non-stop, so things could change in the future, but for now it is at number 4. And the least best album is One of the Boys. Obviously, I listened to the singles on this album, and that is about it, so there's not much I could say on it. I have listened to the album, so like I'm not uncultured with it, but the type of music and the way her voice, like she just didn't really find her sound, I feel, until Witness. Honestly, maybe until Smile. She was very experimental. So I would just say that One of the Boys was her introduction, and then she was like, I'm gonna switch it up and conquer pop, which she did with Teenage Dream, and then she rode that out with Prism. And then the underrated tracks on Prism, she started to experience with weirder, different production, and she really carried that on Witness, which a lot of people didn't like. And then Smile, she kind of went back to the pop, but I feel like Smile was a great mix of Witness, Teenage Dream, and Prism all together. And honestly, Daisies is very One of the Boys vibes, but with like a much more mature sound, and it fits like the 2019-2020 year that we're in, especially I guess the whole decade that we're in right now. Before I end this video, I just wanted to say thank you so much for all the support. If you have been watching my videos recently, as you know, I went through some hard times in the past few days, especially if you're subscribed, you would have seen my community tab where I post frequently about my thoughts and my feelings. So definitely subscribe if you aren't, and you can check that out as well. I always sneak peek videos and put little bloggy type posts up about my feelings and how grateful I am and things like that. So I definitely think you should subscribe and stick around if you like videos like this. I have more artists to be doing in the future, as well as other fun reaction videos and lifestyle vloggy type content coming out soon. I also sing, obviously, I think a lot of us know that, so covers obviously coming whenever I want to put them out. But other than that, please subscribe. Feel free to check out my other discography review videos or vocal evolution analyzing videos. Katy Perry will definitely have to get one soon because I did do one for Ariana and Lady Gaga. I just posted an Ariana ranking songs on my wall. That might sound confusing, so just check out the video if you haven't. It's very good, especially if you like Ariana, or if you want to get into her and see what songs I think you should listen to. Check it out. It's very, very good. I want to say, the big announcement coming October 3rd kind of ties in with Katy Perry, Lady Gaga, and Ariana Grande. So if you're a fan of any of them, not really that it matters, but more so like if you appreciate me and my content that I'm putting out, but you're also a fan of Gaga, Katy, and Ari, I think you will really like this surprise. If you're not a fan of them, but you still appreciate me and the work that I put in, then either way, it's okay. Like, you're still gonna enjoy the surprise. But I am so excited to share it with you. So please do not forget, what day? October 3rd, Saturday, next Saturday, a week from this published date of the video. Please, please, please check out my channel, my Instagram, whatever. I am so excited. You have no idea. I've never been more excited for something, and I really thought I was with my Rain On Me cover that I did over the summer, but this is like a whole different ball game, and I am so grateful and excited to be doing this, just beyond, like, the gratitude is just, you know, seeping out of me. Thank you for all the sweet messages that you guys have been sending me and leaving me. I read them all. I try to reply to as many as I can, and they definitely don't go unnoticed. But if you ever need someone to talk to, or if you ever just want a friend, I am here for you. We are all a big community. Anyone that watches my videos, you know, are the best people in the world. So feel free to message me on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, whatever you want. Comment on this video, and I will reach out as best and as quickly as I can. I love you all to the moon and back. Sorry that outro was really long. I'm just so grateful for you guys, and I really hope you know that. It definitely doesn't go unnoticed what you guys do for me, and I am so appreciative of every single one of you. So I need to just shut up. Okay, goodbye.
Subscribe. This is the channel to subscribe to. If you're gonna subscribe to any.